Am I saying that I want to take a break from social media because of like this instance? Okay, good morning, y'all. I just wanted to talk about something. So sometimes if you follow me on Threads, which I don't really like people to follow me on there, but if you follow me on Threads, sometimes like I will talk about like my random thoughts. And the other day I posted about how, or we should retire the phrase, "He's a good man, Savannah." Now, when I made this comment, I was referring to how, as a black woman, and I watch a lot of black films, like pretty much most of what I watch is created and centers black experiences, whatever. And I'm getting ready, by the way. On social media, specifically like in the TikTok realm, you have a lot of younger people who did not watch Waiting to Exhale. They're using "He's a good man, Savannah" in the wrong context. And it just, every time I see it, I cringe, because it's like, if you watch the movie, you know that he was in fact the worst of the worst type of man. The whole "he's a good man, Savannah" was her mom knowing this and trying to convince her that despite him being a married man that was cheating on his wife and his family, his kids too, she should still be with him because he's a good man, because he had a great job and he had money. And the whole topic of this video, I don't even know if I'm gonna post it, but I really want to, because it highlights several things. One, we have a severe media literacy issue, and because of that, I am seeing, at least in real time, how media literacy and literacy in general is just very, very important. So I made this post, and then I have like a bunch of like Gen X and like older, like early millennials in my comments, like, absolutely not, like, we're not getting rid of the film, you Gen Zers, you guys want to ruin everything, we can't have fun anymore. Like, it's just like a bunch of comments related to that. And I literally, because I realized in my initial post was like kind of vague, so I followed up the post saying that I was saying this in reference to people that aren't using it in the right context. The amount of people that are from that age range, it started clicking in my brain. You guys were the problem. You guys are where this begins. Because if you read my replies, like, maybe I'm a very thorough person when it comes to like research, and like, especially when I'm commenting on something publicly, like before I make a statement, like I like to see like how the OP responded to things and stuff like that, so that like I can truly understand their stance before I offer my rebuttal or anything like that, because like that's what you do in like good arguments. And the amount of people that are literally like attacking me and just like going insane over this in my comments is like, it's mind-boggling to me a little bit, because like if you even read the comments that I've commented to other people, like I reiterate, like the reason I'm saying this is not because I'm saying like I don't understand the irony, I don't understand the joke. I understand the joke. I don't think other people on social media are understanding the joke, and the joke has lost its meaning because you just have people commenting "He's a good man, Savannah" on posts that are highlighting good attributes from men. So it's like in my mind, if I hear somebody say in reference to my man, or a man that I know is a good man, if I hear somebody say "he's a good man, Savannah," I'm gonna feel offended because I know the context of where that phrase originated. And that's all I was trying to highlight. But I realized, and I saw somebody say this before, you know, we all used to get split up into different groups in different classrooms. And when we graduated, we were all thrown on social media together. So you have a bunch of people that, and this is not to be pretentious, or this is not to sound like I'm better than anybody, because that's not the case by any means. But it's just like, you know, I do read. And knowledge is power. You can learn a lot through reading. And I'm not saying all reading comes in a book either. Like, reading comes in very different forms. Just reading articles, reading different people's perspective. Which is why, like, I was able to come back and, like, clarify what I meant, is because I saw the type of comments I was getting and I was like, wait a minute, something here is not, something I said is not translating the way that I intended. But of course, once something has something and it grows legs, that's just it. And it's just a mess. And this isn't the first time this has happened to me, but because it keeps happening, it's just very interesting to me, and I felt like I needed to talk about it. Also, I don't really talk a lot on my platform, like on my platforms, about like just these types of topics and stuff like that. But I just think we have to start talking about this more, because like it's genuinely becoming a severe issue within our communities that people don't read. Like, they don't read anything. They don't have a yearn to learn more. They have no desire to even build upon their own understanding of things. If I could explain how many times my opinions of things have changed just from me doing research, and that's what research is supposed to do. Like, your opinion on things is supposed to change, because the more research, the more experience you get and things like that, like, you're supposed to grow, you're supposed to evolve. And I think when people hear something one time, they just take it and they're ready to have a rebuttal without even really doing the necessary research before they respond. And also so you get dressed. But I really had to come on here and say this, because like, I'm just like, now granted, old me, I would have felt bad. But like, even now, like, I feel like I'm explaining myself in the comments a lot, and I'm learning that like, you can't explain everything to everybody. And some people, when they see a truth or they come up with a truth about whatever, they're hell-bent on that truth. And you know, people were just being very nice. I wouldn't even say nice. People are being nasty, especially. And it kind of, you try not to take things like that personal, because, you know, obviously they're not understanding what you're saying. So like, that's what I have to remind myself, is like, okay, you don't understand where I'm saying, because I am gonna be honest, I live in a cross section between two worlds. So like, I can understand like the perspective of people way older than me, and then I can understand the perspective of people quite younger than me. And I feel like I'm like, I guess they call us zillennials, but like that mix of like Gen Z and the millennials. Like, I identify more with millennials, one, because I mean, that's like really all I grew up with. But like, I also grew up during a time where I saw like the emergence of a new era, for real. So like, and I was like at the beginning of that. But what I don't like sometimes is the fact that people discredit like they feel like you can't understand things because you are young. And I just don't like that. Or like, you're younger than them. I really hate that. And I try not to take things like that personally, because honestly, it's not really a reflection of me. It's more so a reflection of them. And if people actually had like a genuine conversation with you, they would understand that like, oh no, you know a lot more than, you know, I would perceive or I would assume you know. And yeah, I just kind of, I don't know, that the whole dialogue and conversation in itself just really like opened up my eyes to a larger issue. And it brought me to this point, and maybe I'm like very neurodivergent in a way, but like, it just brought me to this point, like, oh no, the literacy issue was not, this is not, what we're seeing today is not from just today. Like, this has been an ongoing thing for generations, and it's just gotten worse over time. Like, we're just seeing the direct results of generations of declining literacy rates in fruition. Like, this is what happens. And that's like kind of what I'm like reminding myself as I process through this. But I just really implore people on the internet to read thoroughly. Read, like, even if you go on my page, you can see like other posts that I make are kind of like on the same type of alignment. Am I saying get away with the phrase itself because he was a bad man? No. Like, and then it's like people think you're so dumb. That's the part that's like kind of insulting to me, is like people think you're so dumb that you didn't watch the movie, you don't understand the context of the film, and they're like, the people in the comments are like, no, that's the whole point, it's a joke. Yeah, and I'm talking about the people that aren't saying it as a joke. Like, they're saying like he's a good man, Savannah, and it's like, but it's supposed to be a joke. Like, when you're saying that, it's because he's not a good man, Savannah. And it's actually a way to like tell people, hey, like, you might need to get rid of that man. I don't know. But this is just, you know, my little tidbit for today. Being on social media and having a presence on social media can sometimes be very frustrating, especially when you're like building it. You know, like people that have done it for years, like they get used to this stuff. And I don't know if this is something like I ever want to be immune to, because one, I'm a very argumentative person, like, and not in the sense of like, you're right and I'm wrong, but like I really do like to hear people's opinions and perspectives on things, because I feel like we learn so much from others and other people's perspectives. And that's exactly why I said, like, my opinion can change. Like, I'm never like stuck on an opinion and that's where I'm at, and that, like, it's never that way with me. And I find myself like, you know, my perspective changes because when new information is brought that, you know, maybe it's more convincing, maybe it unlocks something or it ties something that I may not have been fully aware of. I just feel like, one, we shouldn't attack people for things that they say, and people are too fucking comfortable on the internet to just say whatever to whoever. Like, y'all don't even be knowing people in real life, and y'all would never say this stuff to somebody in real life. That's the thing. Like me, I will argue with you in real life. Like, I never cared. Like, I will go to the bar and argue down. That's why I have to really limit the type of conversations I engage in, because people get mad. Like, people will dead get mad at me because I will argue, especially because a lot of times I know what I'm talking about. Like, I have a philosophy to not really speak on situations I know nothing about. So if I am speaking on it, I know something about it. I find it very, very frustrating when people just want to get their jokes off in the comments and shit, and they be wrong. Like, and I have a comment section of people who are completely dumb and completely missed the point of what I was saying, because all they heard was get rid of this, instead of really reading to see what exactly I meant by that. And it's just, I want us to return. I think technology is really hurting our community. We're no longer using it for its benefits. We're using it in ways that are just not good anymore. Am I saying that I want to take a break from social media because of like this instance? No, but it's also like I've already been dealing with like not really wanting to be as like present on social media, just because like the amount of comments that I receive based on like things that are supposed to be like thought-provoking, and then it just turns to people making personal attacks towards you. I literally cannot. Like, I'm just trying to engage people in conversation, like genuine conversation where we can have dialogue about like real stuff, and it's always met with like fucking stupidity. And I feel like I'm like the last of a dying breed sometimes. Like, I'm not even saying this in like an egotistical and cocky way, because another thing is like people like to equate like your education or the way you talk to like how smart you are. First of all, that is not true at all. There are so many people that I have learned so much from that never even went to college and barely graduated high school. Like, if you limit being educated to just going to school, it's so frustrating. It's so disheartening, because it's like, first of all, you cannot go to school and still have access to public libraries to read books. Like, you cannot go to school and still utilize social media and the internet and stuff like that to learn how to educate yourself in ways outside of that. Like, you don't have to go to school. Like, I even down to like, you can learn a lot just from being like a traveler, like traveling, experiencing different cultures. You learn a lot from that, like, especially about people. So like, I would be a fool to think that I am smarter than somebody just because I have some degrees. Like, I would never, ever, 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 ever think like that. But what I will say is that when people generalize you and put you in a box, especially when it comes to like education, it is so frustrating. People took a statement that I made and completely turned it into me being a dumb Gen Z kid. And it's like, first of all, like, I'm pushing 30. Most of the people that I attract in my life are my age or older. I have a hard time connecting with people younger than me. Can I understand them? Absolutely, because I take the time to genuinely connect with them. But it is harder for me to connect with them because of like, just like the barriers of how like I was brought up versus them. Like, I was brought up at the tail end of the millennium. Like, that was a lot of what I grew up with, and a lot of the foundations of my childhood were attributed to like how millennials were raised. I have a mom that is not a millennial. She's a Gen X. My mom was born in the 60s. She ain't no spring chick. It just goes to show, like, even like when I have conversations with people about music, and people underestimate like how much music knowledge I have and like how deep it goes. Like, when I tell people like, yeah, like, no, I like 60s and 70s music, like R&B music, soul music, and they'll be like, what? And then my 60s and 70s catalog stretches farther than theirs. That's when they're like, oh, well, you actually do. Yeah, because like, regardless of how old I am in age, like, I still have the ability to like learn something other than what's right in front of me. Like, I don't know. I think this conversation is really just like, I literally just got up and I was like, I'm about to get dressed, but I had to just get that off my chest because, one, like, it bothers me because there like are too many dumb people on the internet. And when I say dumb, I'm not saying it to shame them, but it's like, do you guys not like, it's like a light is inside of me, like this desire inside of me to always know more, to be greater than I am, to like be better than I was yesterday, be better than I was 30 minutes ago. Like, there's always that like drive within me. So when I meet people that don't navigate life in that way, it doesn't click in my brain sometimes. And I'm not being like facetious or an a-hole when I'm saying this, but like, I genuinely just have a hard time understanding. And maybe it's attributed to neurodivergence, you know, I don't know, but like, it's such an isolating feeling. I feel so isolated, and I find myself sometimes having to like call like my cousin. I love her to death because we are so like, and I sometimes have to call her and just be like, am I tripping, or like, does this make sense? Like, am I making sense? Because like, I don't know if I'm being gaslit right now, but like, I feel like people are not understanding what I'm saying. So like, help me correct myself. Those are the type of people that I like to have around me. But like, on social media, you don't solely get those types of people. Like, you get all different types of people that are very like condescending. Like, a lot of the comments that I was receiving were very condescending and very like, you're dumb, you don't understand, everything's not that deep. But it's like, I was saying this in reference to like, I was kind of defending the phrase, because people are using it out of context. Because if we want to get down to it, we allowed something that is significant in Black culture, it's a phrase significant in Black culture because this movie was significant for Black culture, we allowed it to be co-opted and it lost its meaning. And as does everything else in our culture. But it's February 4th. Happy Black History Month. I hope you guys are all having a great day. This is just a small rant. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my day. I'm gonna continue enjoying my Black History Month. I will check in with you guys later on this month. And I just want to challenge everyone, like, you know, if you see something on the internet, let's first do our research before we comment. Like, I think that will be a great beginning tool to like navigating online spaces, is to let's start doing more research before we jump to conclusions, because a lot of times we're making comments that are disgusting and you're trying to shame somebody for having the same exact opinion that you have, but you don't even have the media literacy, you don't even have the understanding or the comprehension skills to even see that. You literally read the words verbatim and you took that and you ran with it and you were ready to attack people. But hey, I hope you guys, like I said, have a great Black History Month. Support local Black work, small Black creators, small Black artists, even big Black creators, big Black artists. Yeah, the more we come together, the better we will be. I hope you guys take some time to just enjoy the culture and enrich yourself in the culture, learn more about the culture and our history. There's so much that is being wiped out. Ooh, before I go, I do want to say this. I'm not really a political baddie, but I am very politically abreast. And so I know exactly what's going on. And I want to say this to the people who are so disgusted by the Epstein files and the things that have been released in there. I've noticed how Black people are not surprised, especially Black people that know a lot of history in regards to chattel slavery. Nothing those people did is any different than what has been done to us for centuries. And I know that a lot of this can be a lot mentally on us Black people. Like, this is our month, this is our time to, like, you know, be celebrating our culture, celebrating our history and all that. And I'm glad that other people can see it's unfortunate that we've been saying this stuff for years upon years of the atrocities that we faced through chattel slavery. This is validating the things that we've said, in a sense. And I just want to send a virtual hug to all my people. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves this Black History Month. And if this month is a call for rest, do exactly that. I love you guys. I love being Black. I'm an unapologetic Black woman. I will forever be an unapologetic Black woman. And I will forever, ever, ever fight for my people and fight for a better space, a better mindset, and a better quality of life for my people too. So I will see you guys in my next video. I love you guys. Bye.